good to have you with us on the 9 p.m. edition of the Urban Debate, and we continue with the conversation on the big talking point that got the entire country interested. The Vikas Dubey encounter. A week ago, Vikas Dubey and his men gunned down 8 policemen who had gone to conduct a raid and pick him up and arrest him. They instead ambushed him, and then Vikas Dubey ran away. Since then, he's been on the run. He's been to multiple states, 3 different states, to at least 4 different cities, until he appeared in Ujjain yesterday and then was arrested by the police. 24 hours later came the news that he's been gunned down. There was an accident in the car in which he was traveling with the police as he was being taken to Kanpur. And after that accident, Vikas Dubey tried to run away, snatching a weapon from one of the policemen as well. And so as he fired at them, there was no choice but to gun him down. Vikas Dubey, viewers, was undoubtedly one of those gangsters who had close connections, very deep-rooted connections within the police, within the authorities, within the political circles, irrespective of which political party came to power. In the last 20 years, gangster Vikas Dubey, Don, Bahubali, whatever it is that you might call him, or those who knew him called him, he's only thrived. Chief ministers have come and gone, but Vikas Dubey and his entire illegal set of activities have continued. He has faced over 50 cases, including him gunning down a minister in broad daylight in a rally, and then chasing him to a police station and further shooting him there. He got acquitted in that case as well. Obviously, because nobody wanted to speak up against him. Obviously, because he had the protection. He perhaps with him carried many secrets. Secrets of corrupt politicians. Secrets of corrupt, inefficient, negligent policemen. Secrets about a nexus between the politicians, the policemen, and the gangsters and the criminals, the hardened criminals of Uttar Pradesh. All of this Vikas Dubey carried with him. And tonight, all of these secrets are going to be perhaps forever buried, as Vikas Dubey got silenced earlier today. My problem is that perhaps if there was any intent of cleaning up the system, that opportunity has been lost. My problem is that we will now never know who are those people who are helping him all this while, who tipped him off in Kanpur before that arrest, before that raid, who tipped him off when he was hiding in Faridabad before the police landed there, who's protected him all his while, who helped him from becoming a nobody in 1990s to a big shot, to thriving through the 2000s, 2014 to 2018, 19, and even now. Those secrets have been buried forever. That's the big question that I have of anybody who wants to sit and discuss this big development tonight with me. But before I go across to our guests, here are a few political reactions that I want to play out for you.
कांग्रेस पार्टी की ये मांग है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सिटिंग जज, एक मौजूदा जज द्वारा एक न्यायिक जांच हो, जो पूरे कानपुर कांड का पूरी तरह से उसमें जांच करके जो असलियत है वो जनता के सामने रखे।
उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर कानून व्यवस्था की स्थिति बुरी तरह से चरमरा चुकी है और सरकार कहीं न कहीं इस पूरे घटनाक्रम में जिस तरह से सामने आई है उस पर उसको पुनर्विचार करने की जरूरत है।
तो इसकी भी जांच होनी चाहिए। सरकार जो है कहीं ना कहीं से जो एक कॉकस जो था उसको छुपाने के लिए भी ऐसा कदम हो सकता है, कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है। फर्जी एनकाउंटर पहले भी हुए हैं और कोई ये संदेह के नजर में ये तो इन्वेस्टिगेशन ही बता पाएगा।
सरकार को बताना चाहिए कि जो विकास दुबे अपराधी की गाड़ी पलटी है, ये सरकार को, अपनी सरकार को पलटने से बचा लिया है। उसने किस किस अधिकारियों का, किस किस भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं का नाम लिया है, किन किन बड़े नेताओं का नाम लिया है जिसने उनकी मदद की है। अगर ये अधिकारी और ये नेता आज भी बच जाएंगे तो समझिए आने वाले दिनों में कैसे कैसे अपराधियों को ये पैदा करेंगे।
Let's say good evening to the panelists who are joining us right now. Mr. Sharad Pradhan, senior journalist, joins us this evening. Mr. Manish Shukla, spokesperson of BJP in Uttar Pradesh. Mr. Sudhindra Bhadoria, spokesperson for the BSP. Juhi Singh, spokesperson for the Samajwadi Party, joins us this evening. First up, let me go across to Mr. Sharad Pradhan. Mr. Pradhan, you know, the fight about whether or not this was a real or a fake encounter, I think is pretty irrelevant now. I am more concerned, and I wanted to know your views about that, of all the things that Vikas Dubey knew, could have revealed, and now will never be out.
Absolutely. By ensuring this encounter, the UP government has managed to put a lid on all the unopened chapters of his life, which would have brought to the fore his connections with people in the ruling dispensation, because whoever is in power is more vulnerable than anybody else. So certainly at this point of time, this has been done essentially to keep the curtain on that forever. And this is a very serious matter. If this guy, he gets caught in Ujjain, whether it is a stage managed arrest or a surrender, whatever you call it. But fact of the matter remains that there it was just a flower seller and a pujari who tipped the temple security, and the temple security caught hold of him and called the police, and he showed no resistance, as one has seen on the various videos that have been there on various TV channels. And here, the same fellow, after being hauled up, after being handed over to the UP police within hours, he becomes so courageous and so strong, despite a limping leg, that he manages to snatch the pistol of the cops, run away from the vehicle, and run for 2 kilometers before they gun him down. What a story! Even a fourth-rate Bollywood masala would not accept this script, I'm sure. And if the cops, if police were to be believed that he actually did it, then will the police, will the UP government say what action they have taken against those incapable, inefficient, and absolutely useless cops if they allow their pistol to be snatched? And here they're going gaga over what a great job the police has done. Isn't it shocking? You have the whole police team should have been suspended by now for gross dereliction of duty. And this is crazy. This makes it very obvious that this has been done at the behest of the top political people. Otherwise, this couldn't have been, this was not possible. So more than anything else, it is not just the police. Let me bring in nexus with the police. It is the political nexus which is of serious concern, and which is what ultimately decides what could have been done and what has not been done.
Yes, absolutely. Mr. Manish Shukla, you want to respond to that? This ultimately is an attempt to cover up and ensure that none of the dirty secrets about the political nexus really emerges.
तन्वी जी, कल उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस और एसटीएफ के दबाव में विकास की गिरफ्तारी मध्य प्रदेश में हुई। ट्रांजिट रिमांड के द्वारा उसको उत्तर प्रदेश लाया जा रहा था, कानपुर लाया जा रहा था, और गाड़ी दुर्घटनाग्रस्त हो गई। भागने का प्रयास उसने किया, पुलिस के रोकने में फायर किया और पुलिस ने उसको क्रॉस फायर में मार गिराया। कम से कम अभी तो हम यही मानेंगे, इसलिए कि जो ऑफिशियल स्टेटमेंट है वही हम मान सकते हैं। शरद जी ने अभी बहुत चीजें कही, यूजलेस, असक्षम, बॉलीवुड मसाला फिल्म, उज्जैन में नहीं किया तो यहाँ कैसे कर डाला। देखिए, जब आप पवेलियन में बैठे हो तो आप बहुत अच्छे से बता सकते हैं कि अरे इस गेंद को अगर इस तरह से शॉट मारा होता तो गेंद तो 6 जाती। शरद जी, वहां की परिस्थिति तो आप इस तरह से आप बता रहे हैं जैसे आप वहां उपस्थित रहे हो। अगर इस तरह जो जितनी चीजें आपने बताई ऐसा कोई प्रूफ हो, इतना बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म आपके पास है, मिरर नाउ का है, रखना चाहिए, जिससे जो लोग भी ऐसे लोग हों वो सामने आ पाए। लेकिन बातों का क्या, बातें आप कर सकते हैं। मैं तो इस पे आता हूं कि 2 और 3 जुलाई की रात में हमारे 8 पुलिसकर्मियों को उसने मारा, और योगी आदित्यनाथ की सरकार में विकास दुबे 2017 में जब हमारी सरकार बनी तो हमने पहले उसको जेल भेजा था, 2.25 साल वो जेल में रहा, जमानत पर बाहर आया तो हमने उसको 25,000 का इनामी घोषित किया और 2 और 3 जुलाई की रात में पुलिस उसको गिरफ्तार करने गई, जहां उसने दुस्साहस किया और 8 पुलिसकर्मी शहीद हुए। शहीद होने के बाद इस 8 दिनों में उसकी गैंग के 6 लोगों को मारा गया, 1 दर्जन से ज्यादा लोग गिरफ्तार हुए हैं और उसके जो आर्थिक स्रोत है उस पर उसको भी खत्म करने के लिए पुलिस जुटी हुई है, अन एजेंसी जुटी हुई है। और आज वो डॉन, वो दुर्दांत अपराधी जो समाजवादी पार्टी का नेता है, आज अपने ही कर्मों की सजा उसने पाई है। अब जिनको भी उस विकास दुबे के साथ खड़ा होना हो, चाहे उस अखिलेश यादव हो, चाहे प्रियंका गांधी हो या शरद प्रधान समेत जितने लोग भी हो, उस दुर्दांत अपराधी के पक्ष में बोलना चाहे बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि मैं ये जानता हूं कि हर
मुझे तो ये लगता है मनीष शुक्ला जी, मुझे तो ये लगता है कि आपने तो एक फेवर कर दिया है। अगर आपको इतना कन्विक्शन है कि उनके अभी तक वो समाजवादी पार्टी के साथ जुड़े थे और उसके पहले जब उनका पूरा काम हुआ और वो इतना लाइमलाइट में आए तब उनको बीएसपी का सपोर्ट था, तो आपने तो उनको सबको क्लीन चिट दे दी। कहानी तो यही खत्म होगी विकास दुबे की। अब जो उनको जिसके साथ उनका नेक्सस था वो तो हम कभी नहीं पकड़ पाएंगे और कभी नहीं ढूंढ पाएंगे, क्योंकि विकास दुबे के साथ वो सब जा चुका है। अब
क्या आप ये कहना चाहती हैं कि आज सुबह जो दुर्घटना हुई, जो काउंटर हुआ, वो उत्तर प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट ने कराया? जिन पुलिस वालों को गोली लगी है इस काउंटर में, उन्होंने अपने से मार ली कि उत्तर प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट ने मार दी? देखिए, जो चीज जांच का विषय है,
नहीं, आपने अभी कहा कि हमने उसके गैंग के 9 लोगों को मार दिया, तो मुझे लगा आप कह रहे हैं। नहीं, आपने अभी कहा कि हमने उसको मारा और उसके गैंग के 9 लोगों को मार दिया, तो मुझे लगा आप ही कह रहे हैं कि मार दिया।
हमको तो आपकी बात से लग रहा है कि आप ब्लेम कर रही हैं कि उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस और उत्तर प्रदेश की गवर्नमेंट ने मार डाला। अगर आपके पास ऐसे कोई प्रूफ हो, ऐसी कोई जानकारी हो, तो बिल्कुल शेयर करना चाहिए। और मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने तो कोई जा सकता है, मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने कोई जा सकता है। जब मजिस्ट्रेट की इंक्वायरी होगी तो कोई भी व्यक्ति एक एप्लीकेशन देगा, वो गवाही दे सकता है। अगर कोई किसी के पास प्रूफ हो तो मैं ये आमंत्रित करूंगा इस पैनल पर बैठे जिनके पास प्रूफ हो वो जरूर मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने जाए, एक एप्लीकेशन दे और ये कहे कि ये
नहीं, मैं समझ नहीं पाया। मनीष शुक्ला जी, आप क्या कह रहे हैं? किस चीज का प्रूफ हो कि ये एनकाउंटर रियल था या स्टेज, या ये चीज का प्रूफ हो कि आदेश कहाँ से आया था?
नहीं, जो जिस तरह की भी प्रूफ हो, क्योंकि आपने कहा ना कि अभी शरद प्रधान ने कहा कि उत्तर प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट ने सारी उन चीजों को जो अनहाइड थी वो अब बाहर नहीं आ सकती, उसको खत्म कर दिया। तो ब्लेम उत्तर प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट में अगर लग रहा है तो इसका मतलब शरद प्रधान जी या ऐसे लोगों के पास प्रूफ होगा इस आज के काउंटर का।
छोटा सा सवाल है,
जब इंक्वायरी होगी, मजिस्ट्रेट की जब इंक्वायरी होगी तो शरद प्रधान जी लखनऊ में रहते हैं, उनको एक एप्लीकेशन देना चाहिए और जाके बताना चाहिए कि ये इस तरीके से ये गड़बड़ था। और हमको लगता है कि हर नागरिक का ये कर्तव्य है, अगर कहीं गलत हो तो उसको सामने आना चाहिए, केवल डिबेट और भाषण नहीं करना चाहिए।
Okay. I have to go to two more panelists. But Mr. Sharad Pradhan must respond to this because this is a direct question to him about the evidence. Mr. Sharad Pradhan.
हम तो आपसे सिर्फ इतना पूछना चाह रहे हैं कि अगर सरकार वाकई में इतनी उत्सुक थी इसको मारने के लिए और क्योंकि ये डिजर्व करता था मारा जाना, तो जो योगी आदित्यनाथ जी ने एनकाउंटर चलाए उत्तर प्रदेश में जिसमें 67 क्रिमिनल्स बड़े बड़े मारे गए, उसमें श्री विकास दुबे जी का नाम क्यों नहीं था? क्या उनकी पूजा कर रहे थे उस टाइम आप लोग? मतलब उनको बड़ा अच्छा व्यक्ति समझते थे, उनका टॉप 10 के क्रिमिनल्स में भी नाम नहीं है। सिर्फ इतना बता दीजिए, तब क्या हो गया था? आपकी तो सरकार थी।
प्रधान जी, आंकड़े दुरुस्त कर लीजिए। 117 और ये आज एक पन्नालाल यादव मारा गया।
17 की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं हम, इसकी बात कर रहे हैं जो एनकाउंटर चलाए गए वो इसलिए चलाए गए कि प्रदेश में राम राज्य आ जाए, सब क्रिमिनल्स मर जाएं। तो उस समय ये क्रिमिनल की लिस्ट में नहीं थे शामिल। ये क्या बहुत अच्छे व्यक्ति थे उस टाइम पे?
आप उत्तेजना में बातों को सुन नहीं रहे हैं। आपने कहा 67 क्रिमिनल मारे गए, हमने कहा 117 और आज एक पन्नालाल यादव मारा गया, 118 हो गए। उसको मैं आपके
हम तो उनकी बात कर रहे हैं, आप जरा नंबर नहीं, आप केवल इसका जवाब दे दीजिए, सवाल को घुमाइए मत।
नहीं, हम सवाल को नहीं घुमा रहे हैं।
सवाल को नहीं
घुमा रहे हैं। लेकिन आप इतने बड़े चैनल पे बैठ के आंकड़ों को गलत बोलेंगे, मैंने करेक्ट किया, केवल सवाल पूछिए।
Okay. Let me bring in the other two panelists. Mr. Badoria has come on my show after a really long time. Good evening, Sudhindra Badoria. Good to have you tonight on this show. Mr. Badoria, are all political parties heaving a sigh of relief along with perhaps some cops as well कि चलो गया, उसके साथ सबका जो भी रिश्ता था खत्म, अब कभी कुछ बाहर नहीं निकलेगा. The whole controversy is dead. We can all move on in our lives now.
Well, let me put this debate in perspective. As I see, everybody wanted that Vikas Dubey, who was a dreaded criminal, should have been punished, and he has met the kind of fate which we thought should have been given to him through by the legal process. Now, having said that, I would also like to bring to your notice that it is not in one day he became this, but Yogi Ji's government is there for last 3 years, and in these last 3 years, his name did not appear in the list of gangsters which are there. His name was not there even in the district, those 10 numberies which should have been there. However, now this Vikas Dubey, he has stayed in Kanpur after having committed such a brutal, heinous crime for 2 more days. And more than that, 3-4 months back, one of the police officers apprised the most important police officer of the district that here is a person, Vikas Dubey. He has he is more danger to the police force and to the people, and therefore we need to act quick, swift, and take action against him. But nothing happened. So therefore, I think there is a need for an inquiry into this whole issue, an inquiry to break down the nexus which you have also mentioned. This nexus is not just there in Kanpur. It is a huge nexus between the money power, the mafias in the mining industry, in the liquor industry, and in the land mafia. So they have all got together, and those people who are sitting at the helm of affairs, whichever be the political system, whichever be the government, whichever be the institution, they have a huge control over all this. So therefore, if we want to end not only Vikas Dubey, but want to end the Vikas Dubeys in the future, we must take serious steps. Otherwise, this is eating like a moth into the constitution, into the democratic system, and the whole system is in peril. Therefore, this is my submission that today we must take this opportunity to cleanse the system and cleanse it fast. Otherwise, it will be too late after some time.
But that's exactly what is not happening, and that is exactly what is really, distressing me. That everybody admits there is a problem with the system. Everybody even admits there is a problem with the way justice is being done because it's delayed, it's barely ever done. Criminals are working from inside the jail, outside the jail. They are functional irrespective of where they are. There are corrupt cops, corrupt politicians, and a nexus that thrives. And so everybody is right now all right with the fact that at least one criminal has been gunned down. Juhi Singh without...
Ma'am, one more point. It requires political will, and there is the government at the center, and the state is also of the same political party. They should have enough political will. They should intervene, bring out laws, reforms, so that the criminals in politics should be weaned out and from public life as well. That is what is the need of the hour today.
But Mr. Badoria, you know it and I know it. There is no political will. I mean, if we remove the list of criminal netas in politics itself, the picture is self-explanatory. But okay, I take your point. Let me go across to Ms. Juhi Singh. Juhi Singh, if we say that the cleanup has to begin, well, in that sense, who's doing the cleanup better than anybody else in Uttar Pradesh? Isn't it the Yogi government that has done over 5,000 encounters since they came to power? They encountered UP's youngest Don, Rohit Sandhu, in July 2019. His aides were killed. He was killed in separate encounters. He faced 40 criminal cases. There was this other gangster, Inderpal, who had over 30 cases against him. He was encountered in February 2020. Gangster Bablu, very famous, killed in October 2019, member of an extremely famous gang with an extremely odd name. In April 2018, Balraj Bhati was killed in an encounter. He had about 19-20 serious cases against him. So Yogi government has been doing that. Isn't that the first government that's cleaning up what SP or BSP left in legacy?
Tanvi, the problem with the Yogi government is that in their desperation, they appear to be so condescending and so brazen about what has been happening in Kanpur. Vikas Dubey killed 8 policemen, and those policemen were also killed with the help of various other policemen who were posted on that particular police chowki. So either the police thana does not listen to Yogi at all, they have their own law and their own order, and this person, Mr. Vikas Dubey, was being aided and abetted by various members of the ruling party, or if they even say any other party, then they have to prove it, and the police force to flee UP, to travel throughout UP, to stay in Noida, to stay in Kanpur, then go to MP, where there is a very staged and strange sort of surrender. I don't think there was any transit demand. I think Manish Shukla needs to check his facts. And then, of course, Manish Shukla comes out here, and he's then entire pretense of getting him back is made. So if you actually, this man had of course, as has come out, relations across parties with various bigwigs, with various officers, policemen. So if you were getting him to Kanpur, interrogate him, get those names out. If you really want to clean it, put them transparently, make his CDRs public. Whosoever was talking to him, I mean, there are two people. Rahul Tiwari was a guy who registered this complaint against whom Mr. Deven Mishra went to arrest this person. Where is Rahul Tiwari? I would also like to know where is Mr. Jay Bajpayee. He is in the police custody. What has come out of there? So it's perfectly all right to say that I'm cleaning up the act, but you are not, sir, and you are protecting, and you are protecting somebody. You're protecting a lot of people, and here the question mark and goes straight to the top. So either the chief minister is not a de facto head of UP, the state of UP, so he must resign, and whosoever is the de facto head whom people are listening to, whose instructions they are following by aiding and abetting Vikas Dubey and his criminals and his nexus, they should be allowed. That's all I can say. And there's a very bizarre accusation on the Samajwadi Party. 3.5 years you've been ruling the state, still you say that the Samajwadi Party runs the state. I'm very strict that we must be a very powerful party. We needn't go to elections. And Manish Shukla, of course, I mean, you're sitting out here and threatening people that if you have proof, then go before the magistrate. Otherwise, what? I mean, what are you saying? Magisterial inquiry, anyway, it's a part, it will take place, but you cannot justify your lack of action, your failure of intelligence, and your complete involvement, whosoever's complete involvement in the murder of Deven Mishra, the disappearance of a letter which comes out of his daughter's mobile. Your police files don't have it. STF initial inquiry, every time you have initiated an inquiry or action has been after the media or some political party has flagged the issue. Why is the STF being headed by this character who officially was the person whom Deven Mishra ji complained for, or martyred Deven Mishra? Then you remove him, then you just attach the entire police chowki, then Mr. Vinay Tiwari's name is coming out in the public, then you arrest him after 2 days. First you just suspended him. So your intentions are very much questionable, and you had 2 jail wars also, if I remember, gang wars in the jail, Dadri and Banaras. So this, please stop this perception creation and image creation. You are not taking any action. This was an intentional murder of Mr. Vikas Dubey to hide certain things. If you really want to get out of this accusation, make his CDR not 2000. Yeah. Yes, Tani.
Okay, let me get a response from Mr. Manish Shukla, who's patiently heard both Sudhindra Badoria and Juhi Singh. Go ahead, Manish Shukla ji.
देखिए तन्वी जी, जूही जी की समस्या मैं समझ सकता हूँ, क्योंकि आज तो इनके राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष उतर आए मैदान में और एक चैनल पे उन्होंने चिल्ला चिल्ला के कहा कि विकास दुबे निर्दोष है, और अभी इन्होंने भी कह दिया कि उसको मिस्टर दुबे की हत्या हुई है। क्योंकि कल देखिए जूही जी, डिबेट का तरीका नहीं है, बोल लेने दीजिए फिर बोलिएगा।
Facts, Manish Shukla, you are a responsible.
तन्वी जी,
So your skin. Don't lie.
तन्वी जी इनसे कहिए, तन्वी जी इनसे
don't-
कहिए कि अभी ये झूठ बोल रही थी तो मैं सुन
वन
रहा था।
मिनट हाँ एक मिनट मेरी बात सुन लीजिए मनीष शुक्ला एंड जूही सिंह, आप लोग स्काइप कनेक्शंस पे हैं, दोनों लोग बोलेंगे तो दोनों की आवाज कट जाएगी अपने आप, मैं कुछ नहीं कर पाऊंगी, तो एक के बाद एक ही। मनीष शुक्ला जी, दूसरे शो पे क्या हुआ मत बताइए मुझे, यहाँ पे जो सवाल उठे या जो जवाब मिले उसी के बारे में बात करते हैं, बोलिए।
मेरा फोन कट गया है, फोन कट गया है
अभी
मेरा।
मुझे आवाज आ रही है आपकी, मिस्टर मनीष शुक्ला, गो अहेड प्लीज।
नहीं, ये जिससे पैच किया गया था वो कट गया है, लेकिन अब आपकी आवाज सीधे आ रही है उससे। तो तन्वी जी, मेरा बस एक निवेदन है कि जैसे मैंने इनको झूठ को सुना है वैसे मेरे तथ्य को सुन लें। तथ्य में कोई गड़बड़ी होगी तो फिर इनको अवसर आप दे दीजिएगा। आज अखिलेश यादव जी मैदान में आए विकास दुबे के मृत्यु के तुरंत बाद, उन्होंने कहा कि निर्दोष विकास दुबे की हत्या हो गई, क्योंकि कल जब विकास दुबे की मां ने कहा कि ये समाजवादी पार्टी का कार्यकर्ता है विकास दुबे, तब से ये लोग बेचैनी में है। तो एक दो मैं तथ्यात्मक बात कहना चाहता हूं। 2001 में संतोष शुक्ला की हत्या होती है तन्वी जी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार थी, वो सरेंडर करता है, तब तक मायावती जी की सरकार आ जाती है, और जब पुलिस वाले गवाही से मुकरते हैं तो मुलायम सिंह यादव की सरकार रहती है। डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में से बाइज्जत बरी होता है, मुलायम सिंह की सरकार थी, और ये लोग हाई कोर्ट जाना मुनासिब नहीं समझते हैं। एक राज्य मंत्री की हत्या हुई है और पुलिस वाले गवाही से मुकर रहे हैं। 2004 से 2017 के बीच 40 से ज्यादा आपराधिक मुकदमे कायम हुए, एक बार भी उसकी गिरफ्तारी नहीं हुई। उसकी गिरफ्तारी कब होती है? जब योगी आदित्यनाथ सरकार की सरकार बनती है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनती है। 2.25 साल वो जेल में रहा। जेल के बाद जब वो बाहर आया, उसको 25,000 का इनामी कौन घोषित करता है? भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार घोषित करती है। उसकी गिरफ्तारी के लिए फिर कब जाती है पुलिस? भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार के समय में जाती है। इनके कनेक्शन, उनकी पत्नी को टिकट ये देंगी, उसको जिला पंचायत सदस्य बनाएंगी, विकास दुबे की मां कहेंगी समाजवादी पार्टी का कार्यकर्ता है, अखिलेश यादव जी सामने आके कहते हैं कि निर्दोष है। वाह भैया, अब कौन सा कनेक्शन चाहिए जूही जी? तो ये लगातार झूठ के बहुत दिनों तक आप किसी पर गला नहीं सकती।
बता देती हूँ,
मुझे नहीं लगता किसी ने कहा कि वो निर्दोष है। सब चाहते हैं कि उसको सजा होए, कुछ करा नहीं पाए सजा तो अलग बात है। ओके मनीष शुक्ला जी, लेट मी गेट अ रिस्पांस फ्रॉम जूही सिंह। यस,
Manish Shukla is lying on a public platform saying that Akhilesh Yadav ji called Vikas Dubé Nirdosh. Action should be taken by his party against for circulating such a issue. You have no right just to save your skin and escape from your responsibility. The second thing I will tell you, 8 people were killed on your watch, Manish Shukla, while you were enjoying the perks of being in the government, driving in VIP cars, and your police chowki was conniving against Mr. Devendra Mishra. You did not even put him in the context of your
ऐसे अपराधियों पे कार्रवाई होगी।
Keep quiet, Mr. Manish Shukla, you have lied enough. You don't have the face to accept this responsibility. That is what you are doing. Why are you so rattled? Why are you so rattled? If it is relevant for you that this person's bring it to the investigation table. No, nobody is out here to listen to your lies and to misquote the national president, and your party should take action against such an irresponsible official spokesperson. And I say it now that if they are not going to take action, we will definitely complain to Yogi Adityanath that Manish Shukla is standing by the murderers of Devendra Mishra, and he is standing by Vikas. He is giving
Okay. If I may, I want to say one thing. If I may, please, both of you calm down. I want to say one thing. Fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter now, Manish Shukla. It doesn't matter if who was connected to him, who helped him, who was connected to him. How does it matter unless you assure us and promise us tonight that even though Vikas Dubé has been gunned down, those people will be punished. Those in police force who helped him, who tipped him off, because of whom those 8 policemen died, that those people will be punished. अब विकास दुबे ही बता सकता था कौन थे उसके साथी पुलिस फोर्स में, अब वो तो रहा नहीं, तो वो कैसे जस्टिस आप देंगे? मिस्टर मनीष शुक्ला
जी, ऑडियो की कुछ प्रॉब्लम होती है।
क्वेश्चन इज टू यू, आप कैसे न्याय देंगे जो पुलिस वाले उसको मदद कर रहे थे, अब उनके अगेंस्ट एक्शन कैसे होगा? अब तो विकास दुबे ही नहीं रहा।
नहीं, जो पुलिस वाले मदद कर रहे थे, जो खादी के लोग मदद कर रहे थे, या अन्य लोग जो मदद कर रहे थे, उनको सजा देने के लिए विकास दुबे के रहने और नहीं रहने से नहीं फर्क पड़ेगा। उस सबके ऊपर कार्रवाई होगी। विकास दुबे के माफिया चार्ज को बनाया जा रहा है 2001 से, और जिन लोगों ने, जब वो जो पुलिस वाले उस समय दवाई से मुकरे थे मुलायम सिंह के समय में, या तमाम जिन लोगों ने उनकी मदद की है, वो जरूर एक्सपोज होंगे। योगी आदित्यनाथ की सरकार, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार करप्शन फ्री और क्राइम फ्री उत्तर प्रदेश के वादे के साथ आई थी, और हम कर रहे हैं।
हम वो सरकार नहीं है कि जियाउल हक की हत्या होती है और मुआवजा जियाउल हक के भी परिवार को और जिन्होंने मर्डर किया उस यादव परिवार को भी दे दिया गया था। जूही जी बैठी है, इसको रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगी, करने का मन होगा तो हमारी सरकार में न्याय जरूर होगा। और जो 8 पुलिसकर्मी शहीद हुए हैं, पुलिसकर्मी जो शहीद हुए हैं, उनके साथ भारतीय जनता पार्टी है। हम हत्यारों के साथ अगर पूरी विपक्ष भी जाती है, जो लोग जिनको जाना हो खड़े हो, चाहे अखिलेश जी खड़े हो, चाहे जूही जी खड़े हो, चाहे प्रियंका जी खड़े हो, हम न्याय के साथ खड़े होंगे। इस बात के लिए हम प्रतिबद्ध हैं। हम उन शहीद पुलिस वालों को हम न्याय दिलाएंगे। और जो इतना बड़ा नेक्सस था, और यही विकास दुबे ही नहीं, गाजीपुर से गाजियाबाद तक, सहारनपुर से सोनभद्र तक जो भी अपराधी है उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई चल रही है। आर्थिक जो साम्राज्य उनके हैं उस पर भी चोट पहुंचाई जा रही है। निश्चित रूप से इससे समाजवादी पार्टी को बेचैनी होगी।
I just want to bring out some facts. These are the facts about this specific encounter. The loopholes in the story that has been presented by the police. Police claims he was running away, but the bullet injuries are on his chest, not on his back. Why are the bullet injuries on his chest, 3 of them, and not on his back if he was running away? Police claim he tried to flee when the car toppled, but many say that he wasn't even fit to run. He couldn't have run even that amount of distance that Priyank was showing to us earlier in his report. Police said he snatched a police weapon. Well, shouldn't he have been handcuffed? Wasn't he being brought from Ujjain after he was arrested? Even though Supreme Court mandates that you don't have to necessarily handcuff him or any criminal, but a dreaded gangster like Vikas Dubey, usko humne aise hi chhod diya aur fir wo bhag gaya. Police claims vehicle in which Dubey was taken toppled, but there are multiple reports that suggest that earlier he was in another vehicle. Police claims that Dubey was killed in retaliatory firing, but many are asking the question that if he kind of surrendered and made himself available for arrest in Ujjain just 24 hours ago, why would he want to and attempt to run away again? Now, apart from this, one very important point, viewers, if you don't know, there was a set of media vans and cars that was also following this police entourage. This entire 2 to 3 vehicles of the police that were there taking along Vikas Dubey from Ujjain to Kanpur, media was following, tracking it. But at one point, at a toll naka, where there was a long queue and a lot of traffic, the media cars were stopped and barricades were put. And from there, the police vans went ahead. And soon the journalists who were there were told that there has been an accident ahead and the man has attempted to escape and he has been encountered. Why? Mr. Sharad Pradhan, sometimes it seems that the intention is to let the world know that this is what was planned. So that the messaging goes to criminals that if you take on the UP police or the UP government, we will gun you down.
You know, at the end of the day, this also reflects how they have just turned their faces from the criminal justice system laid down in the Constitution. How can you plan such a thing and give it the framework of legitimacy. Don't say that you've done it, but the manner in which you carry it out, there have been fake encounters in the past also. Nobody can deny that. But generally, they have never done in such a shoddy manner as this one. You may be right that they wanted to also send a message to hell with it. We'll go ahead with our plan. We will eliminate a chap, whoever does this. But then this reflects the frustration of the police, a frustration of the government, that they were not able to even track him down. It was thanks to the Madhya Pradesh government or some arrangement between him and the Madhya Pradesh police, whereby he was able to surrender or get himself arrested. But this only reflects the frustration of the police, which was also visible in the manner in which they ran the bulldozer over his house. You know, they find there is a provision in the criminal CRPC to destroy property, but in the bargain you have destroyed all evidence. If the matter had gone to court, the benefit of doubt would have gone to this rogue called Vikas Dubey. So I even have reason to suspect that some moles in the police deliberately used the bulldozer to destroy all the evidence against him. You are not supposed to do anything, disturb an iota of evidence at the scene of the crime. This is what the law of evidence says. But they did it. So what does it all? It only reflects.
No, you're absolutely right there, Mr. Sharad Pradhan.
So, somebody
Yes.
somebody
No,
has
you're
to
right.
mention-
And it actually flummoxed me as well, that why did anybody have to go ahead and actually raise down the property itself, seize the property, use it for something else instead of raising it down. But first gather all the evidence, show what was there, prove what has been found, get all your evidence in place and then raise it and then use it for some other purpose instead of just wiping it all out. But Mr. Bhadauria wanted to come in and make a point as well. Go ahead, please.
Well, I think the whole system should be functioning through the rule of law and the constitution. Now, here in this case, what is required at the moment is that a Supreme Court judge should inquire into this whole thing. Otherwise, in future, today Yogi Adityanath ji is in power. Tomorrow there may be somebody else. So, if the constitution and the rule of law is taken into hands and is dealt with like this, then it will open a Pandora's box and it will also give strength to all those people who will be high-headed. So therefore, I think in order to come out clean and also to give a true tribute to those 8 martyred policemen and their families, people should know the truth and there should be a complete inquiry under a Supreme Court judge. So therefore, I would submit to the spokesperson of the BJP that he should appeal and he should go and put forward our appeal that there should be an inquiry and all those who are still escaping, there will be many others who have not been caught. He was not the only one. He had many accomplices in this. So therefore, everybody should be brought to book and those who have been left around should be also brought to book.
No, you are right, Mr. Bhadauria, that there has to be a rule of law that this country follows and the constitution must be respected and that's what should be implemented. But, that's the problem. And I want to tell all of the panelists right now and viewers who've joined us at 9 o'clock that at 8 o'clock we had a panel of, this former top cops. A former Delhi Police Commissioner, a former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. I had a retired Chief Justice of a High Court. I had the senior most of the lawyers, a former ASG who was with us. And everybody spoke about a broken system. Everybody spoke about how in the current system, criminals get away, criminals manage to function from inside the jails, justice is never done. Even if they are caught, even if the case is on, they get away, they get acquitted. That's what happened in this case. And so increasingly there is this sentiment, not just now, this has been there for about 20, 30 years, that when it comes to dreaded criminals who've dared to publicly challenge the system, let's just gun them down. Why don't we attempt to fix the system rather than using this shortcut? That's my question, Mr. Bhadoria.
No, surely I completely endorse your view, and I think we need to fix, and therefore there have been many commissions set up in the past to do away with the criminalization in politics and in public life and other national institutions as well. And remember, it was Mr. Tarkunde in the beginning under whose chairmanship a committee was established. Subsequently, there have been many more such committees. I think it's high time that everybody gets together, and I think there is a government in the center and also in the state, and they should invite other political parties in order to save the democracy and the constitution. Otherwise, one day, these criminals will become so powerful. These Escobars, Al Chapos, they will be running the systems, and others who will be, the so-called political workers will be far behind. So therefore, we should prevent our political system to be taken by the Escobars and Al Chapos. We must do something, and this is the right time to intervene.
Mr. Manish Shukla, do you want to respond to this? While great, your government claims that you've gone after the criminals, you've had over 5,000 encounters, over 180 criminals have been shot dead, and dreaded gangsters, some of them. All of that is fine. But what are you doing to fix the broken system, to clean up the system?
देखिए तन्वी जी, ये अपराधी पहले अपराधी होते हैं, क्राइम करते हैं, फिर एक आर्थिक साम्राज्य खड़ा, और जहां तक मेरी समझ है कि उनके आर्थिक साम्राज्य पर चोट पहुंचे तो सबसे बड़ी चोट उनके लिए होती है, क्योंकि उसी के द्वारा सारे संसाधन वो जुटाते हैं। आपने ध्यान दिया होगा पिछले कई महीनों से और पिछले 8 दिन से जब ये घटना घड़ी, इंसिडेंट हुआ, उसके बाद से चाहे पश्चिम का दुजाना हो, चाहे भाटी हो, चाहे इधर मुख्तार हो, चाहे इधर अतीक हो, सबकी संपत्तियों को अटैच करने का भी काम शुरू किया गया है। देखिए 14-15 सालों का जंगल राज हमको विरासत में मिला था, और उस दौरान इस तरह के लोग डेवलप हुए थे, और आपने स्वयं बताया है, आंकड़े बताए हैं कि 118 लोग जो इनामी हैं, 50,000, 25,000, लाख, 1.5 लाख रुपए की इनामी है, वो काउंटर में मारे गए। ढेर सारे लोग गिरफ्तार हुए हैं, जिसका असर भी है। ढेर सारे अपराधियों ने तख्ती गले में लटका के सरेंडर किया है उत्तर प्रदेश में, ये भी दिन देखा है उत्तर प्रदेश में। लेकिन एक दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना 2 और 3 जुलाई को घटी है, और उसके बाद ये चीजें आई हैं। मैं एक बात कह के बात को खत्म करूंगा कि सभी काउंटर की मजिस्ट्रेट की जांच होती है। हमको लगता है मजिस्ट्रेट की जांच के बाद मजिस्ट्रेट की जांच के बाद उसकी रिपोर्ट कोर्ट में जाती है। कोर्ट से जब प्रूफ होती है, उसके बाद उस काउंटर को समाप्त माना जाता है। जो भी परिस्थितियां होती है, सही या गलत होता है, वो माना जाता है। हमको लगता है कि बिना उसके अपने अंदाज से किसी बात को कहना गवर्नमेंट ने किल कर दिया, और इसलिए कि वो कहीं ना कहीं सिंपैथाइजर आप है उसके, तो ये मैं इसको नहीं मान सकता। और जुडिशियल मजिस्ट्रेट की इंक्वायरी होगी, और मैं किसी को बचाने के लिए भी नहीं बैठा हूँ। मजिस्ट्रेट की इंक्वायरी में दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी हो, जो कोई भी उसमें शामिल, गलत हो सही हो, जो होगा उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होगी, हम उसको स्वागत करेंगे। लेकिन आज बैठ के हम ये कह देना हमारे 2 पुलिस वाली गोली लगी है, 2 लोग घायल हुए हैं एक्सीडेंट में, उनको किसने गोली मार दी, वो कैसे घायल हो गए, उनके लिए किसी के प्रति सिंपैथी नहीं है, उनके मानवाधिकार की बात कोई नहीं कर रहे हैं।
नहीं, उनके अधिकार की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उनको गोली क्यों लगी ये आप भी जानते हैं और मैं भी, क्योंकि किसी ने विकास दुबे को बता दिया कि वो आने वाले हैं। किसी ने ढंग से प्लानिंग नहीं करी, पहली बार गए थे और नहीं उसको ला पाए, वापस आए।
आज के इनकाउंटर की बात मैं कर रहा हूँ मैडम,
मैं आज के इनकाउंटर की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, मैं भी। अच्छा, आप आज की बात कर रहे हैं, मैं उन पुलिस वालों की बात कर रही हूँ जिनकी जान चली गई।
पुलिस वालों को
उनकी जस्टिस का क्या होगा? उनकी फैमिलीज को जस्टिस कैसे मिलेगा जिनकी जान चली गई क्योंकि किसी ने विकास दुबे को खबर दी थी?
जो शहीद हुए हैं उनके साथ सरकार खड़ी है, जो भी घोषणाएं थी वो हुई हैं, उसके बाद विकास दुबे के खिलाफ लगातार कार्रवाई हुई है, और जो पुलिस वाले शामिल हैं उसकी जांच आईजी रेंज लखनऊ कर रही है। 2 पुलिस वाले जेल में हैं और जो बड़े अधिकारी शामिल हैं उनकी जांच हो रही है। एक बात सुनिश्चित जान लीजिए कि योगी आदित्यनाथ की सरकार में, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार में कोई कितना रसूख वाला हो, अगर वो अपराधी है या अपराधियों के साथ है तो कार्रवाई सुनिश्चित होगी। हम और आप रहेंगे, हम आप फिर डिबेट पे बैठेंगे।
Okay, I'm going to at this point of time thank all of our panelists who have joined us so far. Mr. Sharad Pradhan and the political representatives Sudhindra Bhadoria, Juhi Singh and Manish Shukla. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation. And I'm going to continue this with Mr. Siddharth Luthra, who's joining us right now, with a legal viewpoint on what's just happened. And Mr. Luthra, there's a debate that's gone on all day long about what happened and the loopholes which are there, the various missing versions, and how media was blocked, how this man who was supposedly running away had bullet injuries on his chest and not really his back, how he was in one car and then perhaps later the accident car was a different car, and on, it goes on. But my question to you is there a growing normalization of such instances in our society because people have given up on the existing legal judicial system? They know it doesn't work when it comes to gangsters like this who have such deep political and police connections. So it's just better this way?
Tanvi, let me first give the legal answer as to the legitimacy of the actions, and then I will respond to your question. Under the law, under the CRPC, under Section 46, the police have the ability and the power to take steps to arrest a person, and if the person is accused of committing death, or a person is accused of an offense punishable with death or imprisonment for life, they can even go to the extent of taking the person's life, but that's an exception to the rule. Arrest is not supposed to be, detention is not supposed to be about taking more force than is necessary to detain a person. So that's rule number one. That's the principle number one. Principle number two is that in such cases, in terms of the Supreme Court directions, in terms of the CRPC, there is going to be an FIR registered, an investigation carried out into the death of this man in custody, and the legitimacy or otherwise of the action is going to be found out. I agree with you completely that there is a need for introspection, that you have people who commit multiple offenses. So though there is no distinction in law between an offender and a criminal, but the colloquial understanding is that a person who commits a one-off offense and then does not repeat offenses would be treated as an offender, and a criminal is somebody who is a repeat offender, perhaps what is attributed to the deceased Mr. Dubey. Now, the issue today is, why is our prosecution, why is our police failing to prosecute these people within the four corners of the law? I am not one of those persons who necessarily believes that the law needs to be revamped to make it one-sided or otherwise. But at the same time, when the mechanisms exist in the law, when in UP you have stringent legislation such as the Gangsters Act, why is it that criminals are not brought to book? And as a consequence of which, what we believe, or what people believe rather, and I don't want to comment on this either way because it's premature, what people believe are extra legal methods take place. Now, so far as society is concerned, they may believe that, all right, an extra legal method is taken out, a person has a criminal history, take it out. But the question is, does this not denigrate the rule of law in a constitutional democracy? And that is the question everybody needs to be asking themselves, whether it be the political class, whether it be the government, whether it be the citizen. Today, you may believe that A is a bad man, so it happened, all right, we live with it. But what happens when such aberrations can take place to innocent people? And they've been known to happen. And that's the concern that I have as a person who believes in the Constitution, as a person who believes in the rule of law, because an extra legal killing is always denigrative and destructive of the rule of law. And that's not what this society should be all about. The justification that the gentleman gave a few minutes ago, that look, we came into power, we cleaned up the political system, we cleaned up these gundas. The question is, why were these criminals allowed to survive and prosper in the last many decades? And for that, the it's not just the political system, but I believe it's the criminal justice system which is also complicit. And we need, as lawyers, as litigants, as prosecutors, as investigators, to have serious reflection. Why has this state of affairs come to pass? And why have people lost, why has the police lost confidence
Yes,
in the
because-
ability of the criminal justice system to deliver?
Yes, and Mr. Luthra, I won't even go back too far in time. I mean, this is not the first time that we've had such an instance. There have been debates, there have been encounters, there have been controversies about real and fake encounters for now a long time in our country. But let's just take the Telangana case where, you know, these rape accused who had just been arrested, who had no other, you know, past instances or serious criminal cases against them, were killed in an encounter. And at that point also, we all had the same conversation. Since then, we've all forgotten and moved on with our lives, and tonight again we sit and do this. Now, where does the change begin then? Who brings about this change?
I must tell you, by legitimizing, and I blame all of us, you, me, the media, lawyers, the moment we legitimize the term encounter, what we're really saying is we are accepting a state-ordered killing. That's not what the law permits. The law permits that if a person in custody is fleeing from custody, you may take action against them. If a person attacks the police may act in self-defense, but not the term encounter itself is anathema to the rule of law, according to me. Having said that, unfortunately, whether you go back to the 1970s, you know, the dacoits and the Chambal, that's how the system was cleared up. It's tragic, but that's the reality of life. And that has been happening over the years in various societies, in various systems, wherever the Punjab terrorism was cleaned up like this. You know, the Badlands of the Chambals, as I said, were cleared up like this. But does the end justify the means? And today, 70 odd years after independence, 70 years after we have the Constitution, can our policing, can our prosecutorial systems fail us to the extent that the police end up resorting to this and to public acclaim? My concern is the public recognition and the public acclaim that, all right, he's gone. That's the problem. That shows what we've become as a society. And that shows that that people in society have lost the necessary confidence in the justice delivery system. That's, to me, as a citizen, as a lawyer, as a believer in our Constitution,
Right.
in the Samvidhan, is a great matter of concern. It is time to ensure, somebody said, what about the human rights of police officers? Police officers and their families indeed have human rights. Every individual in this country has human rights. They did not deserve to be killed by any gangster or by anybody. But that does not justify killing of a person who is said to be a criminal. So there has to be an understanding and balancing. We are not living in a society where we can justify an eye for an eye, a tooth for tooth. We are eventually living in a constitutional democracy. And when people from the political class or from the administration say this, it causes me anguish, because they are the ones who have sworn to uphold the Constitution. They are the ones who have taken an oath on the Constitution. And it's time for
No,
them to be
I
reminded.
agree with you, Mr. Luthra. You are right. But honestly, tonight, I don't know when that will happen and how it's going to happen, as much as you and I would hope.
Well, Bhargavi,
and I believe in the
Tanvi, the change has to
institution,
be
in the
brought by you and
Constitution,
me.
and I would want that you know, yes, it does. But it does start with you and I, and for us to not normalize these kind of encounters, and continue at least the conversation,
I
and
would say
continue
these kind
asking
of
questions to
incidents,
those
don't use the
who
word
try to
encounter, because
normalize it
I
and
find the word
justify it.
encounter troublesome itself.
Okay, point well taken. Thank you, Siddharth Luthra. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on this conversation. Well, time for a quick break. We'll get you more on the other side. Stay with me.